So our president was at a women's conference in Canada, and he was asked some questions about women in leadership on the continent of Africa. In his response, he made comments to the effect that Ghanaian women make up the majority of the population. However, they weren't seeing enough dynamism, activism, and movement on the part of the majority. And that when it comes to the tables where the decisions are made, the women are not being represented enough. So it's almost like a call for many more Ghanaian women to aspire to come to the table where the decisions are made. And so for me, having listened to the president's comments, I agreed with him. And I thought to myself, fair enough. If there's an issue in my country, what can I do? The answer eventually came to me in a couple of days. I was lying down one Sunday morning about 4:30, and I just heard the voice of God say to me, set up a platform and start rallying Ghanaian women in the diaspora together and see how best all of you can come together to go back home and make an impact.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great honor and privilege to be here this afternoon to give the keynote address for the inauguration of the Ghana Diaspora Women's Association in Ghana. And I must say I'm very proud of the founder, Marie, for having this vision and taking up this initiative as an outcome of the President's speech at the Women's Deliver Conference at Vancouver, Canada. This bold step has resulted in a meeting this afternoon to deliberate on how more Ghanaian women in the diaspora can look back home with their skills and talents in various industries to help find ways to bridge the gap in women's involvement in decision making.
Every child needs to be educated, and every child needs to be educated under a good atmosphere. We are targeting school under trees.
Our second campaign as women, when we came together, was to think about what we can do to help maternal mortality rate. If you have the chance to get medical intervention, why not? It's about time we educate our women. Don't demonize medical intervention. People are in pain. They won't even take epidural. Why? Because you're not woman enough. Is it not womanly enough carrying that baby for 9 months?
I'm happy to note that as part of your projects, you've taken the campaign to eradicate schools under trees and sheds. Ghana Diaspora Women has a social responsibility to provide decent learning conditions for school children.
And your objectives that you have spelled out is very gratifying, to help women to actualize their dreams, to inspire women to aspire towards higher levels.
The statement that the president made in Canada, people took him out of context. If at the general elections you have more than 3,000 men contesting as against 152 women, who finally only 36 of them won. And he talks about the fact that you can't even find a woman in parliament. People took the statement out of context. So it is a wake-up call for all of us. It was a challenge that we should sit up as women.
Sometimes it is good to feel challenged. Sometimes you may have potentials that are bottled up. But when you come under pressure, when you are challenged, you explode. You shouldn't take that as a criticism for the sake of it. But I'm happy that it has translated into that self-realization and self-actualization that you have the potential to impact on the development of our country.
Yes, we do need, as Nanado said, seats at the table, and I wasn't insulted by what he said at all. I got it. That we all talk a lot, but are we willing to do the work to be where the decisions are made? Simple.
One thing I'm very happy about is that this is a non-partisan organization, because politics have been our bane. When are we going to elevate Ghana over party. I really am not happy. I get this sinking feeling in my stomach when I see ladies for this person and women for this person, and we are used as rallying tools for politicians.
It is time we encourage the women.
And I would like to challenge this country, after 63 years of our independence, to bring a woman leader either as a president or deputy.
Fortunately, we have the Ghana diaspora women that would have to join in the advocacy.
We can't complain if we don't want to be a part of the solution. Simple. And the reality of life is those who sit at the table get to make those changes. The rest of us just talk about it. And so, how do we implement strategies to get more at the table? But let us not overlook the vast and powerful effects of the groundswell away from the table as well. That it's not that about us just being vocal, it's about us being vocal in the right way.
While we inaugurate you, we are not only inaugurating you to sit on the fences. You should seek your rightful places. And if they will call you names, so be it. We must do so in a very decorum way that it doesn't lead to violence, and women don't make violence. But let your voice, that voice that you make at home, let it ring.
And since I joined this ministry about a year ago, I've come into contact with so many NGOs, especially in the 3 northern regions, where we have about 60 to 70% of NGOs working in the 3 northern regions. But what do we see? Do we even feel the impact? They are still deprived, and we still have NGOs working in the northern regions. I had the opportunity to meet with Coalition of NGOs on Human Trafficking, and I told them, you use our platform, you register with the ministry, you take your pictures, you go and sit on radio and talk about human trafficking. When people at Ketakrachi, at those areas are suffering, they don't even hear what you talk about. Are we going to use our platform to just enrich ourselves or to empower impact on the lives of other people? Go deep down there, go to the people, take your message there. You cannot sit on the radio, you cannot sit in Accra and talk about child labor when it's actually happening over there. And the person you are supposed to talk to, your target is not in Accra. Your target may not even have light to even listen to radio. So how do you reach out to that target? You have to move into the communities.